My 33 male, girlfriend 28 female won't let me order fun drinks at coffee shops because they're gay. I've been together with my partner for about 1 year now. Long story short is that my girlfriend won't let me order fun drinks when we go to coffee shops on weekends because she says they make me look gay. When I pressed her on it last time around, she sort of backtracked a bit and says she is also worried about the added sugar of drinks like frappuccinos, mochas, pumpkin spice lattes, etc. The thing is, I only drink regular black coffee during the week and keep a pretty clean diet. I view a mocha frappuccino on the weekend as my reward or cheat meal, and it's just nice to switch it up from the go-to. I'm 6 foot tall and weigh 175 pounds, so weight isn't really much of an issue, and I work out a few times per week. My partner has called me gay multiple times when ordering these drinks. One time when we were out with her other girlfriends, they all agreed that men should stick to plain black coffee. They even said that an iced Americano, my typical drink, is somewhat feminine because you drink it through a straw. I was disappointed by these women as they were all well-educated, liberal, and claimed to be progressive. I find this double standard a bit troubling to say the least, but they claim that they can't be sexist or homophobic because they are women. I love my girlfriend and wish she could stop saying these things, but I find it hurtful and I'm at odds on how to talk to her or make her come around. Do I keep trying to convince her or move?
Am I wrong for kicking my mom out of my house after she berated my girlfriend for accidentally farting? I'm really torn on this and need some perspective. So my girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years and we recently moved in together. So my mother, who I have a close relationship with, came over for dinner to see our new place. Everything was going well until my girlfriend excused herself to go to another room. She tried to leave discreetly, but unfortunately she couldn't make it in time and accidentally farted in front of everyone. I could tell that she was mortified, but before I could even say anything or comfort her, my mother chimed in. She called my girlfriend disgusting and a douchebag, going on about how she needs to be a real woman and be ladylike. I was in shock and my girlfriend was on the verge of tears. I asked my mother to apologize, but she doubled down and said she was only saying the truth. I couldn't take it and told her to leave the house and she left, but not before telling me I was disrespectful. Now she's super upset. Am I wrong for kicking my mom out of my house after she berated my girlfriend for accidentally farting? I asked my mother to apologize, but she doubled down and said she was only telling the truth, so I asked her to leave. She called me disrespectful but did leave, and now my grandpa and my dad are saying I overreacted. But my grandma is on my side. I believe in treating my girlfriend with respect, and I don't want anyone in the home that can't do the same. Edit number 1 says thanks for the replies. My girlfriend and I are going low contact with my mom for the time being. What my mom did was completely out of character and unacceptable and wrong. And the reason I'm not going no contact is my younger brother still lives with her and he's a minor. Major update, my girlfriend just broke down in tears when laying in bed. My mom had been making horrible remarks to my girlfriend for the past several months without me knowing. I'm not going to type those things in the post, but these things were degrading and horrific. But she never told me because she didn't want to upset me. That's just so sad, y'all. I almost want to cry. Am I wrong for letting people know through social media the reason I wasn't at my dad's wedding? I, female 18, was always pretty close to my dad, but closer to my mom. But I often visited my dad about 3 to 4 times a week. Well, a few years ago, he started dating Anna, and Anna and I got along great. So when my dad proposed, I was happy. I thought that Anna seemed like she would be a perfect stepmom. But a few weeks before the wedding, after I bought everything, dress, shoes, etc., my dad and Anna said they needed to talk to me. Anna and my dad decided to have a child-free wedding, which I get, especially for young kids, but turns out child-free means no one under 18. And on the day of the wedding, I was still going to be 17, so therefore, I'm not allowed to be at the wedding because Anna wants to stay true to the child-free rule, even for the daughter of the groom and her about-to-be stepdaughter. The funny thing is, my 18th birthday was 2 days after the wedding, but I still wasn't allowed to go. Am I wrong for letting people know through social media the reason I wasn't at my dad's wedding? My birthday was 2 days after the wedding, but I still wasn't allowed to go. The wedding was just last weekend, the 12th, and my birthday was the 14th. So now I haven't talked to Anna or my dad since they told me I couldn't attend the wedding since I wasn't an adult. Thankfully, my mom ended up taking me on a birthday vacation, and yesterday I posted birthday pictures on Facebook. I captioned saying, "Finally an adult, I'm so glad my dad and Anna didn't allow me at their wedding. Since I was under 18, I feel so much more mature since yesterday." The family was freaking out, asking if it was true and bashing my dad and Anna. I later got a bunch of texts from my dad and Anna calling me immature and a selfish brat. And that right there is why I was too immature to be at the wedding. I was talking to some friends and they did say I'm in the wrong for doing that, kinda, so I just want to know, am I wrong? Top comment said that rule was made for you. I'm sorry, but let that sink in. Am I wrong for not allowing my friend to move with me and my kids? So I am a 32-year-old widow to 3 young children. We live in a small but cute 3-bedroom that is too small for us, but due to the cost of living and COVID, we ended up renting the home longer than expected. Now the house has a renovated garage type space in the back, and about 6 months ago, my friend Trish asked if she could stay. She had nowhere to go with her 2 kids, so I said that's fine, but I would not be renewing my lease. This is because I'm purchasing a home. Well, Trish has not saved up any money or gotten a job, so I reminded her last week that I would start putting in offers on homes. We actually put in an offer this past Friday and found out today that I was accepted, so I let Trish know that if things went well, we'd be leaving in 30 to 40 days. She asked me questions about the house and then said the house doesn't have space for her and her kids, but otherwise it was perfect. I really thought she was joking and said that once we get settled, we'll figure out something for sleepovers. Am I wrong for not allowing my friend to move with me and my kids? I thought she was joking, so I said once we get settled, we'll figure out something for sleepovers with the kids. But Trish seemed totally taken off guard. She said that she didn't think I was really going to move without her and that she had nowhere to go and she would be homeless. So she called her sister and her sister said she can't stay with her because her grandmother already lives there. So Trish is now freaking out and saying that we've all turned our back on her. Her parents also don't have their own place, nor do her grandparents. So I recommended income-based housing, but she said she doesn't want to put her kids in daycare. She told me that I have more than enough money to help her and still buy a house. I work 2 jobs and have busted my butt to buy this house and have enough money for furniture and everything the way I want. I basically told her that I can't help her and the lights will be out September 15th. So, am I wrong for leaving her with nowhere else to go? Am I wrong for calling my mom selfish and telling her it will be her fault when the baby dies? I, female 28, just had my first child, a beautiful baby boy, 2 weeks. He is the light of my life and both my husband, male 30, and I are overjoyed. My mom, female 61, lives overseas and came to help out with the new baby. She is a doting grandma but tends to do things her way, so there have been a few hiccups. Now, the pediatrician was very clear that no one should kiss the baby other than me and my husband. The baby's little immune system is just too weak and God forbid he gets something. So I made sure to be very clear about this to my mom, who was definitely resistant, but I was firm. I told her she couldn't even hold the baby at all unless she agrees to no kissing, so no kissing was agreed. So imagine how I felt yesterday when I walked into the nursery to find my mom kissing the baby and generally playing with him. I was so upset and wondered how long had she done this behind my back. Am I wrong for calling my mom selfish and telling her it'll be her fault when the baby dies? My mom justified kissing the baby by saying the baby was now 2 weeks old and nothing had happened. So we could all start building his immune system. She also said these type of rules are the exact reason why so many children have allergies nowadays. I took the baby from my mom and called her a selfish cow. And I told her when the baby dies from a disease that could have been prevented, it will be her fault and hers alone. I admit I may have went too far, and I also said she's lucky that I wasn't kicking her out. As I type this, my mom is busy packing her bags because she's clearly not welcome in her grandchild's life. And now she's moaning about saying she'll never have a good bond. She also found time in all of this to text my aunt, female 65, who texted me telling me I should be ashamed. She told me that my son should count his blessings, that he does have a loving grandmother. So now I wonder if I was a bit intense. Am I wrong?
Am I in the wrong for deciding not to sleep with someone after I saw them naked? This just happened right now and I'm going through a bunch of emotions. I'm 20 male. I was at a friend's house to celebrate her birthday. It was just a low-key get-together and she had friends over that I had not met before. We played some party games after an hour, cut the cake, and then I started talking to Claire, 22 female. She seems like a great girl, but 15 minutes later, a bunch of them suddenly want to go clubbing. Claire asked me if I want to hang out over at her place instead. I said sure. We talked for about an hour and somehow we're on the topic of sex. Turns out we're both virgins. I thought she looked attractive, so I made a move and she reciprocates. We kiss for a few minutes and she starts undressing. Here's the thing. She was a lot bigger than I anticipated. Her clothing was really baggy and once she took them off, she looked very different. I know that corn spoils the brain, but I like to add that I definitely do not have extraordinary high expectations off women. I myself am not an alpha-looking stud, and don't expect every woman to be graced with superior physical genetics. A six-pack abs and heavenly tatas. It's just at that moment, I realized I was definitely not attracted to Claire. I didn't know what to do, so I lied and said that she looked beautiful. We kissed some more, and I realized more and more I didn't want it to go all the way. So I stopped, and said that I was feeling way too anxious to continue. She tried soothing me, but I insisted that I was just too scared and we stopped. I took off, and I'm currently waiting on the train station to get back home. I'd given Claire my Insta, and she just told me to have a safe journey home. I feel like a D-head if I'm being honest. I'm happy about the way that I went about it and said no. I didn't want to do it, and would have done it mostly due to the pressure of not wanting to be rude. I still feel guilty though. I just told a friend and he had a right laugh about how dumb I sounded. He said I was an a-hole, but it's good that I said no. Am I in the wrong for defending my wife after she purposely dumped coffee on a kid? My wife and I are both 34 and kid-free. My brother Mac, 28, started dating 30-year-old Heather roughly a year ago, and she came with 3 kids. 12-year-old Anna, who's 100% the problem child. The boys 6 and 8 are great. Anna, on the other hand, purposely does shit to piss people off at every turn and is extremely defiant, and her mother lets her get away with it. We own a camp on the lake, and once a year we host a large barbecue and a weekend stay for the entire family. Mac brought Heather and her kids. Anna was a shit all weekend, picking fights with people, throwing tantrums, hitting, etc. And Heather just stood back saying, I don't know why she acts like that, rather than doing anything to correct her kid. My wife was getting noticeably more pissed off as the hours progressed, but nothing like yesterday. Yesterday, we were all sitting out on the deck talking and enjoying coffee, and Anna was underfoot. She was told to go play with the other kids several times and she refused, finding excuses to be involved in the conversation, which included picking up a fly swatter and swatting at flies all around the adults, knocking over our coffee several times. She was also smacking my wife with the swatter, repeatedly saying that there were flies on her when there wasn't. My wife at one point looked at Heather and said, either you get your kid the F out of here or I'm going to lose my shit. I also spoke to my brother several times about him stepping in. This was following Anna dumping my wife's fresh coffee all over the place, including on her. And for the second time, cold coffee. My wife doesn't drink hot coffee. Heather said it clipped Anna go play and that was it. No follow through. Well, Anna comes right back in and slaps my wife on the forehead with the swatter and says, Bug, missed him. My wife took her coffee, her third one that she just made, again, cold, and flung it at Anna, covering her. Anna immediately starts crying and Heather flips out, so does my brother, saying that my wife is an immature C-word and that she's just an effing kid. My wife calmly puts her cup down and continues the conversation like nothing happened, as Anna, Heather, and Mac are all flipping out. But then Heather says, do you have anything to effing say for yourself? And my wife says, don't let the door hit you and your demon spawn on the ass on the way out. Some of the adults are saying that maybe an apology is warranted and that we're the a-holes for not giving one. I personally don't think so. Also, there were plenty of times that my wife specifically had told Anna to stop, and she had even taken the fly swatter from her at one point. Anna went in and mocked my wife and then grabbed the new swatter, while Heather and my brother ignored Anna and what she was doing, hence why Anna kept doing it. My wife, 30, got an abortion after she found out that I cheated. I need advice urgently. My wife and I have been together for close to 7 years. She's the most important thing in my life. She was 4 months pregnant with our first child. These first 3 months of pregnancy have been hell. She's been extremely sick. She's had horrible morning sickness, mood swings to a point where I had to start questioning whether I married the right person. So about a month ago, we had a team building dinner at my office where there was plenty of alcohol. After the team building, one of my coworkers, 32 male, invited the 5 of us to his place. I got very drunk and I made the worst mistake of my life. I slept with one of my coworkers, Lucy, 28 female. I knew immediately that I had made a mistake, and so in the morning I told her it was a mistake and that I loved my wife. Things have been quiet from that time. The relationship with my wife had gone better. The 4th month of pregnancy was great. She's back to being the happy person that she was before. Everything changed on Tuesday this week when my wife asked me whether it was true that I slept with Lucy. I admitted immediately and asked who told her. Apparently, Lucy got in touch with my wife and told her everything. I tried to ask for forgiveness, but my wife basically told me that she's not interested in anything I have to say, that she needs time and not to talk to her. Yesterday, she went to work as usual and I thought that maybe she would forgive me. Thursday, she works from home. When I woke up, 7 a.m. to go to work, she was not at home. She's been sleeping in our spare bedroom. I got worried because she was not picking up my calls, and so I took time off today. About an hour ago, her best friend brought her home and immediately left. I tried to ask her what's wrong, and she just said that I would have to ask my wife, which I did. So she basically told me that she's done with our marriage. I need to look for a place to live for the next 1 year as we apply for divorce. I asked what about our child. She said that she'll give me the address of the hospital she went to so that I can get it, the fetus. I tried asking more questions, but she told me that she's tired and in pain and to leave her alone, that I should tell her when I plan on moving out. I feel sick. How do I solve this, please? I know that I made a mistake by sleeping with my coworker, but I don't think that I could live without my wife. Is there any way to fix this? It hurts because I feel like she aborted the child to get back at me. She didn't want children, but I managed to convince her to get one. So how can I fix our relationship? And how do I move on from this? Am I in the wrong for getting upset when my girlfriend suggested that we split the dinner bill? For context, this is a 4-year relationship and we live together. I pay for utilities, she buys groceries, we both split rent and pay for our personal bills on our own. We have a joint account where we save for a future home. Finances has never been a huge issue. My girlfriend and I are not flat broke, but we are in a place where saving money is a priority. She budgets beautifully and is wonderful with saving money. Therefore, it's fair to say that she has more money than I do. My girlfriend makes it a point to make us go out for dinner once a week or every other week. She takes me to places I like or a place we both equally enjoy. She always offers to pay. I always let her. She's not like normal girls who does a check dance but still expects the man to pay. Whenever the bill comes, the waiter hands me the check, and without missing a beat, she always asks, "Do you want me to pay?" I always agree. I think this is such a nice perk in the relationship. I like when she takes me on dates. It makes me feel good about saving money. I have good food. She spends the whole evening asking about me, complimenting me, and planning our future. She's very sweet and does so much for me. The problem came up last night when she had a huge craving for appetizers and margaritas. She complained about spending her day off cleaning the entire kitchen and she didn't want to dirty any other dishes. She suggested that we go out, and I didn't see a problem with it. We had a great meal. Between the two of us, we had a few margaritas and the bill was adding up. Before the bill came, she asked if I would mind if we split the check, and began to explain how much these nights out are really eating away at her food budget. This is where I got confused. She invited me out to dinner, made the suggestion, and is insisting that we split the check. I would have denied the offer if I knew I would have had to pay. She also jabbed at me for always letting her pay and never once offering. She feels she's being taken advantage of, and if it wasn't for her, we would never go on dates because she's the one who makes the plans and pays. Is it really so awful that I don't want to pay for every single date and saving money is important to me? We had a small argument, she got really upset, paid the check, and we walked home without speaking. I said we just won't go to dinner anymore. This suggestion or any other suggestion wasn't helpful. She's been distant and incredibly upset and is now mentioning the weirdest problems and making me feel like a bad boyfriend. She's even mentioned wanting to break up over a $90 check. This is news to me, but overnight, I became an unappreciative and ignorant boyfriend who never helps out or makes her feel special, but we go out for dates every week. So, am I in the wrong here?